In the hustle and bustle of 2024, we often find ourselves longing for a simpler time. How about we travel back? About 4,000 years to the land of the pharaohs. As the sun peeks over the horizon, we find ourselves in the home of a woman of ancient Egypt. Her morning begins not with the blare of an alarm clock, but with the gentle trill of birdsong. Now, ancient Egyptians are nothing if not hygienic. So Our Lady of the Nile starts her day with a refreshing bath in the river. Then it's time for some beauty rituals. She applies her kohl eyeliner with the precision of a modern-day makeup artist, and her teeth are cleaned with a frayed twig, a predecessor to our contemporary toothbrush. Dressed in a clean white linen garment, she's ready to face the day. And just like that, our ancient Egyptian woman is ready to face the day. Eyeliner on point, teeth sparkling, and dressed to impress. Now, you might think that ancient Egyptian women spent their days lounging around being fanned by servants. Well, you'd be wrong. Imagine waking up at the crack of dawn, not to the sound of an alarm clock, but to the crowing of a rooster. No time for a cup of coffee or a scroll through social media. Our ancient Egyptian woman is straight into her daily duties. First up, it's breakfast time. But there's no popping bread into a toaster or pouring cereal from a box. Oh no, our domestic goddess is grinding grain to make bread. And remember, no electric mixer or pre-packaged yeast here. This is all elbow grease and ancient sourdough techniques. Once the bread is baking, it's time for some cleaning. But forget about vacuum cleaners or even brooms. The floor is made of compacted earth, so it's a matter of sweeping it with a bunch of palm leaves. And let's not forget the dust. Imagine living in a desert without air conditioning or even a humble fan. And then there's childcare. But we're not talking about supervising online schooling or driving kids to soccer practice. This is about keeping the little ones safe from scorpions and snakes, teaching them essential survival skills, and maybe some ancient wisdom thrown in for good measure. Lunchtime, more grinding, more cooking, more baking, and then it's on to weaving, sewing, and mending. No sewing machines, remember? Just a simple needle and thread. The afternoon might bring more chores or perhaps a bit of time for crafting. Pottery, jewelry making, painting. These are the hobbies of our ancient Egyptian woman. As the sun sets, there's dinner to be prepared and a household to get ready for the night. Then finally she can rest, only to do it all again tomorrow. And you thought your day was tough? Try doing it all in a linen dress under the scorching Egyptian sun. Domestic life aside, our ancient Egyptian woman was no stranger to hard work. In the sun-drenched lands of ancient Egypt, women were far more than mere homemakers. They were the backbone of the society, undertaking a variety of roles that were crucial for the functioning of their civilization. Let's take a walk down the Nile and meet some of these hard-working ladies, shall we? First stop, the temple. Here we find the priestesses, women of high status who served the gods and goddesses of the ancient pantheon. They were responsible for maintaining the sanctity of the temple and conducting religious rituals. Can you imagine the job interview for that one? So you're good with incense and you don't mind working nights? Great, you're hired. On to the next stop, the bustling world of commerce. Many women in ancient Egypt were involved in trade. Some brewed beer, a popular beverage of the time, while others sold goods in the market. Picture the scene, a woman haggling with a customer over the price of her homemade beer. It's a 2-for-1 deal, sir. I promise it's the best beer this side of the Nile. In addition to brewing beer and selling goods, women also held positions of power. Some became physicians, a highly respected role in ancient Egypt. These women would have been responsible for diagnosing and treating diseases, administering medicines, and perhaps even performing surgeries. Imagine the job advert for that one. Must have steady hands, a strong stomach, and an excellent knowledge of hieroglyphs. Now, it's important to note that while women in ancient Egypt had more rights and independence than their counterparts in other ancient societies, they were still largely confined by societal norms. They were expected to marry, bear children, and maintain the household. Yet, within these constraints, they managed to carve out meaningful roles for themselves in society. So, next time you're complaining about your boss, just be thankful you're not a beer brewer in 2000 BC. As the sun sets over the Nile, our ancient Egyptian woman finally gets some well-deserved rest. She's been on her feet since the crack of dawn, and now it's time to unwind. Ancient Egyptian style. She gathers her family close and they share stories and laughter, a scene not so different from our modern living rooms. Just swap the TV for a hieroglyphic scroll. Dinner is a simple yet satisfying affair. Bread and beer, the Netflix and pizza of the ancient world, are the stars of the show. As the stars twinkle in the desert sky, she tucks her children into their straw beds, whispering tales of pharaohs and gods to lull them to sleep. Finally, she retires to her own bed, a world away from our memory foam mattresses, but a sanctuary nonetheless. And so, with a belly full of bread and beer, our ancient Egyptian woman calls it a night. What a day! Makes you appreciate your dishwasher and Wi-Fi, doesn't it? As we draw our journey to a close, let's reflect on the life of an ancient Egyptian woman. From the crack of dawn, she was tending to her family, managing the household, and laboring under the hot Egyptian sun. Quite a contrast to the conveniences of modern life we enjoy today, wouldn't you agree? But let's not forget the similarities. Like us, they cared for their families, worked hard, and sought to improve their lives. They laughed, loved, and learned just as we do. They were not so different from us, despite the vast expanse of time that separates us. So let's add a dash of humor to our history. Next time your Wi-Fi is playing up or your dishwasher is on the blink, think of our ancient Egyptian friend grinding grain by hand under the sweltering sun. It might just make your day seem a little bit brighter. So next time you're having a rough day, just remember, at least you're not grinding grain by hand under the Egyptian sun. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more historical fun.